The first time I saw the "For Sale" sign nailed into the fence of my family's 1,500-acre ranch, I thought it was a prank. My land, the same land my grandfather had carved out of wilderness with his bare hands, was being sold by the neighborhood HOA. And the worst part, they claimed it was abandoned property. I remember standing there that morning, my boots buried in the damp dirt, staring at that bright red sign like it was a flag of betrayal. The rolling hills, the pond my dad had stocked with base, the oak tree where my mom's ashes rested, it was all being claimed by people who didn't even know the history of the soil they walked on. My name's Daniel Rivers, and this story isn't just about revenge. It's about justice, the kind that comes with patience, grit, and a bit of poetic irony. It started when the nearby luxury development, Silver Pines Lake Estates, expanded closer to my ranch. I'd lived peacefully next to them for years, even helped clear brush when their community trails caught fire one summer. But when a new HOA president, a woman named Karen Halliday, took charge, things changed overnight. Karen was the type of person who believed control equaled success. She had money, power, and a talent for manipulation that made her practically untouchable in the HOA board. When she first approached me, she wore a smile too polished to be real. "Daniel," she said, "we'd like to incorporate your land into the Silver Pines Natural Reserve. It'll raise property values for everyone." I told her no, plain and simple. My family's ranch wasn't for sale. Not now, not ever. She didn't take that well. Over the next few months, I started getting strange letters, notices of assessment, property violations, even threats of fines for unregistered structures. My land wasn't under HOA jurisdiction, but they acted like it was. I ignored them at first, assuming it was just a misunderstanding. Then came the county letter, confirming the transfer of my property to the Silver Pines HOA due to non-payment of community fees. I nearly dropped the paper. They'd forged documents, filed fake ownership claims, and transferred my land into their community assets. When I went to the county clerk's office, they said the deed transfer had been processed months ago. "You must have signed off," the clerk said, sliding a copy toward me. My signature was there, only it wasn't mine. Karen's group had literally stolen my land with a pen and some paperwork. I hired a lawyer, but even he looked uneasy after seeing who was on the HOA's legal team, a high-end firm from the city. "They've got influence," he warned. "You're looking at a long, ugly battle." But they underestimated me. I wasn't some pushover rancher who'd roll over when the big dogs barked. My father used to say, "When someone digs you a hole, make sure they fall in it first." So I got to digging, metaphorically speaking. I started by tracing the title chain, and that's when I noticed something peculiar. The HOA had no official claim to several key parcels surrounding the Silver Pines Lake. Those parcels, according to the old county maps, were part of a trust that hadn't been updated in decades, a trust I discovered was still in my late grandfather's name. After a few weeks of legal research and paperwork, I reactivated that trust, named myself trustee, and quietly filed for ownership verification. The lakefront lots, the ones their multi-million-dollar mansions sat on, were technically under that same trust. They thought they owned the lake. They didn't even own the ground under their houses. 3 months later, I walked into the HOA board meeting. Karen was there, smug as ever, surrounded by her cronies. "Well, Daniel," she said, "if you're here to beg for a buyback, the board might consider." I interrupted her with a single sheet of paper. "Actually, I'm here to inform you that you've been living on my grandfather's trust land. And as of last week, I'm the trustee." Her smile evaporated. "You can't be serious," she snapped. "Oh, I'm deadly serious," I said. "And since you all illegally transferred my ranch without due process, I've exercised my rights as trustee to liquidate certain assets to recover losses. Namely, your lakefront parcels." I handed her a copy of the sale agreement. The land their million-dollar mansions sat on had already been sold to a commercial developer, legally. Within a month, the news broke. Silver Pines residents face eviction after legal land dispute. Homeowners panicked. Property values plummeted. Karen's once prestigious WA was now the subject of state investigation. Meanwhile, my lawyer filed a countersuit for damages, and won. The court ruled that the WA had forged documents and committed fraud. The judge awarded me full restitution, plus punitive damages. I got my 1,500 acres back, and more. But the most satisfying part came when I watched Karen's mansion, perched proudly by the lake, get boarded up under court order. The woman who once bragged about her exclusive waterfront view was now looking at eviction notices taped to her glass doors. I didn't take joy in destroying people's lives. That wasn't my goal. I just wanted justice, and maybe to teach them that greed always comes with a price. When the dust settled, I restored the land to what it was meant to be: open, quiet, and free. The lake stayed, but I opened it to local families for fishing and picnics. The old ranch house, rebuilt after years of neglect, became a community retreat. And every now and then, when I drive past the old WA gate, now rusted and empty, I remember my grandfather's words. Land doesn't belong to those who buy it. It belongs to those who respect it. The WA learned that the hard way. And I learned that no amount of corruption or power can outlast the truth. Not when you stand your ground.